Hey YouTube, what's up? It's Sparkles here, and I'm gonna do Dear David Part 3. And just to be warned, just to warn you guys, I'm reading November. If November is long, I'm actually gonna split up where I read December and January tomorrow, and it's nighttime, so I'm actually gonna upload these tomorrow, Saturday. So, I'm actually comfortable, so I don't care if y'all see my double chin or not. Okay, so before you start, please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell button. And let's get on to the video. Okay, November 6th, 2017. It's been about 4 months since the first time I dreamed of David. This might be long, but stick with me. Last night I dreamed about him again. It was almost exactly the same as the first time I saw him. In the dream, I saw him in a chair again. I don't have the green chair in my room anymore. This time it was a recliner I'd had for years. He was staring right at me, just like the first time again. I felt paralyzed and I could barely move, but this time something was different. I still felt mostly immobile, but I could squirm just a bit. I felt more alert. I could move my hands somewhat. David glared at me, and I dreaded what I knew was coming. He was going to get out of the chair and come towards me like before. I had to do something. I kept my phone next to me on the bed, and somehow managed to get a hold of it. I thought, if David is going to kill me, maybe I can at least get evidence on my phone. I started snapping pictures in the dark. Sure enough, he crawled down off the chair and slowly began shuffling toward me. He moved slowly, like it was a struggle for him. I felt terrified, but I kept taking photos. David limped closer to me, never taking his eyes off me. Soon I was face to face with him. He started muttering something too quiet for me to understand. Watched his eyes roll in the back of his head until they were all white. I tried to run away from him, but I could barely move. I stared in horror as he began crawling up onto my bed, still murmuring something, and that's when I woke up, same as before, broad daylight, no trace of David anywhere. It's almost a routine now, but it was a dream after all, so I got up and went to work. After a while, the stress of the dream melted away. I wasn't even going to write about this since it wouldn't really be new information, but tonight I noticed something that petrified me. My God, these photos are coming up and they're seriously terrifying. Guys, seriously, I get scared every time I look at these photos. I went into my phone to find a picture from a couple of days ago and saw a dozen of pitch black photos in my camera roll from all from last night. It's better just to show you. Turn up your brightness because they're pretty dark. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the very first photo, and I'm actually gonna turn up my brightness so y'all can see what this photo looks like. And I'm just gonna zoom in for y'all. The little dude in that chair is Dave. Like, if y'all can't see, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit closer. That little alien looking dude right there is David. Okay. And then here's the other one. I'm actually terrified of these photos. And this one y'all can see. It says this one made my heart drop. Okay. So I'm gonna turn my brightness down now. Usually I can come up with some excuse for what's happening, but I have no logical explanation for this. Now I'm sitting here on my couch freaking out. I certainly won't be able to sleep. I just felt like I needed to get this out. Friday, November 17th, 2017. For everyone asking, yes, I'm alive. I've been on the quiet side because there's something I'm trying to investigate. I'm not sure how to yet. I rather I'd rather not tweet unless I have something substantial to share. It's also sort of hard to explain the logistics of what I'm trying to figure out, but I'll do my best. Basically, there's a part of my apartment I'm just now learning about. At least one thing. Okay, it says, to refresh your memory, I live in a duplex. I used to live on the first floor, and now I live on the second floor. It's a long, boxy building that looks like this. So I'm actually going to show you the diagram. But I'm going to read off the diagram. It says, my new apartment, and it's a line. It's my old apartment. It says roof that I don't have access to. And on the other side it says business next door. Roof where I think I saw David. Yeah. If you can see it. If you can, I'm sorry. It's a little bit bright. The other week I was tweeting the most recent update from the living room couch. About 30 seconds after I sent the last tweet, I heard a thump directly above my head, as if somebody above me had dropped something on the floor, which is impossible since I'm on the top apartment. I'm in the top apartment. There is also no way to access the roof. There aren't any ladders on the outside of the building. The only way you can get on the roof is through a skylight in the hallway. There are no trees in the immediate vacancy either. It definitely wasn't pipes either. It was distantly, sorry, I can't pronounce that word. The sound of something falling onto the floor. My building is old and makes a lot of noises, but this was a new sound. It startled me. I'm thinking, is there some secret crawl space in my home? I look all over my apartment, but I couldn't figure it out. So I go into the hallway, and that's when something dawns on me. There's no real way to ease into this. So I'll just say it. There's a mysterious hatch in my hallway. I've always known about it, but I just assumed it opened directly to the roof. So here is the little mysterious hatch. And there is a video. Actually, there's a couple of videos. I don't have my little speaker because it's over there on my table. It's really high above the stairs, so I always figured it was impossible to access without some sort of fancy professional ladder. I took this video so you can see how high it is. So I'm actually going to show you the video because why not? So actually, it's pretty high up from the steps, as you can see in the video. It paused. See, that's pretty high up. I see I see that hatch every morning when I leave for work. I think nothing of it. But this time something dawned on me. It can't lead to the roof because it's actually below the roof. I'm about to bring some simple math on you so I can apologize in advance. Okay. First, the skylight is a flat with the roof. I checked Google Earth to make sure the hatch is about 3 feet below the skylight, meaning there's about 3 feet of empty space between two openings. So I'm going to show you the photo of his little mouth thing. See? That is a little, it's like an attic, kinda. I think maybe the hatch leads to a short ladder going to the roof, but even that's the case, the hatch is level with all the ceilings in my apartment. That means there's 3 feet of empty space all over my apartment. So, that's the little diagram. He put more on it. It says, I was ready to explain this in anyway for a few reasons. One, it might be just some sort of insulated space for all residential buildings have. That all, sorry. I am not an architect, so what do I do now? It didn't seem relevant enough at the time, so I decided I was going to mention it here. I wasn't going to mention it here. But over the past week and a half, I've been hearing more things above me. A few days after the first sound, I heard a similar thud while I was in the kitchen. Then last night, I heard something small click to the floor and roll about 6 feet before stopping. Something is going something is going on up there. Maybe it's a raccoon, but maybe it's not. Guy, your apartment is just haunted. I can't get over the fact that the hatch is in such a weird and accessible place over the stairs. I need to investigate, but I'm just not sure how right now. See? You leave it alone. You don't mess with it. It says, I guess I'll try to buy a long pole off Amazon to see if the hatch even moves. I might have to buy a construction ladder at any rate. That's why I've been MIA for a minute. I'll keep you posted when I figure out how to get up there. Okay, I bought a pole. If the hatch is movable, I'll either sell out for a ladder or call my landlord to investigate. So there's the little pole he bought. It's so tiny on the picture. Tuesday, November 28th. A lot has happened in the last week, but I was away for Thanksgiving, so I'm just now able to write it all down. The noises from the ceiling haven't let up, but the pole I ordered didn't arrive before I had to leave for the holiday, so I didn't actually get it until late Friday night. I planned to investigate next morning and went to bed. I barely fell asleep when I woke up to an incredibly loud crash above me. It sounded like something had dropped a bowling ball. I bolted right up in bed, immediately felt strange. There was a weird energy all around me. I couldn't explain it. After a minute, I heard another crash. I briefly thought about grabbing my shoes and booking it, but that would mean passing under the hatch, and what seemed like a bad idea, so instead I just listened and waited, though I'm not sure for what. The crash happened again, then again, probably 15 times in a row, followed by a long silence. Then I heard a smaller, creaky sound from the hallway. In my mind, I registered it as a footstep, but it really could have been anything. I stayed still, but there was no more sounds after all. After that, I laid back down, still tense and nervous. But I woke up the next morning and everything seemed normal again. I got dressed and left to get a bagel, same as every Saturday. I made my way down the stairs. Something crunched under my feet. I looked down and noticed pale debris on the steps directly under the hatch. So, right there, is the debris. It's so weird looking. Like, I ain't never seen debris look like that. It looked like dirt, but I couldn't tell for certain. It could have been an old plaster or something. I glanced up at the hatch and noticed something else, particularly the edge of something was caught in it, barely poking out. It's hard to see because it's so far up, but I took a photo. So there it is, right there. At that point, bagels were the last thing on my mind. Psh, trust me, food wouldn't even be on my mind anymore. I went back upstairs and grabbed the pole. I set my camera on the coat wardrobe at the top of the stairs and hit record, just to make sure it would be caught on a video of a demon, if a demon burst out of the hatch. It's actually pretty funny, because here's the video. So, hold on. It's pretty long. It's a pretty long pole. This is skinny pole. Okay. So I jumped out of the way and practically fell down the steps trying to dodge whatever it was that fell. At first I thought it was a dead squirrel. Poor dead squirrel. Which would honestly explain a lot. It hit the floor steps and bounced down to the first. So I went upstairs to get my phone and collapsed the pole. Since it's long and unwindly, it then went back downstairs to investigate the object that fell. At first, I wasn't even sure what it was. It was a dinghy, faded black. I picked it up and realized what it was. It was a small leather shoe. It's a baby shoe. It's so adorable. It's David's shoe, probably. So as I hustled back upstairs, I texted my landlord. I told him I thought there was something in the crawl space and asked if he could investigate. He said he'd come by later with a ladder and check it out. A few hours later, my landlord was on a ladder, shining a flashlight into the crawl space. I stared up at him, half expecting something to grab him and yank him into the darkness. Boy, that's actually funny. But sad at the same time. He angled his flashlight around, finally saying, "There's nothing up here." again, I wasn't quite sure if what I was looking at. Okay, wait, sorry. It says, but then he was like, oh wait. I watched as he reached up into the emptiness with his free arm, and when he pulled it back out, he had something in his hand, small and round. He climbed down the ladder and handed it to me. Again, I wasn't quite sure what I was looking at. It was smooth and shiny, and at first I thought it was an old piece of candy. Excuse me. But it was cold and too heavy to be candy. After a second, I realized it was a marble. I'm literally yawning because I'm tired. It says it was so worn that it hadn't registered as a marble at first. Its shape was also sort of weird with a little bump on the end. Actually, that's how they made. Even though he says in his Twitter thing, it's actually how they made. If you watch how marbles and stuff are made, that's how they made them. And that's it. Awesome looking. I like that green. That's a green marble, and David's favorite color is green. My landlord seemed unbothered for the most part. Okay, dude. And then he told me to call him if I heard anything else. I went inside and headed to my office to see if I could figure anything out about this marble that somehow made its way into my ceiling. It's weird kind of finding your marble in your ceiling. Like, I had nothing to go on. In short, I didn't really learn much. But I did figure out the bump on the marble. I think apparently in the early 1900s they made marbles by hand and cut them with big metal scissors, which would mean the marble is probably really old. Yeah. This is the last one, and then I'm gonna get off. And then it starts at Tuesday, December 12th, but I'm not gonna read that. It says, anyway, I have a discreet old shoe and a marble sitting on my dresser. I guess this is the new normal. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna leave y'all on a cliffhanger, actually. I'm gonna get off of here because I'm so tired. I'm ready to rest and watch my TV. Go take this makeup off. Take my medicine. I'm so tired. I've been going since 10:30 this morning. Actually, I woke up at 8 o'clock and been out since 9, actually 9 something, but whew, just so tired. So, bye guys. Peace. I love you. Bye.